Hello students, we are meeting for our next lecture of our second chapter, that is Green Chemistry and Technology for Sustainable Development. And under that chapter, in the last lecture we discussed the scientific areas for practical applications of green chemistry, and at the end we have just started and discussed 4 to 5 points under the topic use of alternative basic chemicals as feedstock. Okay, so in the last lecture, the PowerPoint was not visible, especially for this point only. So I have prepared that, and I will just brush up and we'll move ahead. What is the meaning of this? In chemical industry or in research, we carry out many reactions for the manufacture of desired product. Okay, but for that we need a reactant. Okay, so from where this reactant will come, what is the source of reactant? Okay, so there are various example. For example, if you want to prepare catechol, okay, so you in industry, the at present method is you have to start from benzene. Okay, then Friedel-Crafts reactions, and then further oxidations, and multi-step synthesis will result in formation of catechol. Okay, so here the benzene is a reactant, but from where this benzene come? The benzene comes from petroleum products. So petroleum products become the feedstock. So nowadays, as far as green chemistry approach is concerned, we have to think about, is there any possible alternative feedstock available for basic chemicals which are used in chemical industry. Okay, so that is the need of R, and that is considered under green chemistry. So that feedstock should follow some rules, or you can say guidelines. The one condition is that feedstock should be renewable. Okay, means there should be a life cycle for that feedstock. If it doesn't have life cycle, then that source will go on depleting, and at will reach to some time that the source will be totally exhausted. Okay, so for that we have to think about, is it possible to use any other alternative renewable feedstock? So it is not only the reactant, it can be a solvent which we are using for our reaction, it can be a catalyst that we are using, or it can be a source of energy. So all these comes under the alternative feedstock. Okay, so in that first is renewal of feedstock and raw material. So green chemistry aims at changing to renewable feedstock with low toxicity and environmental impact. This points to the use of biological materials as feedstock. Means this is directed. This principle directs us to use the biological material as a feedstock. Okay, then next is oleochemistry. No biological start New biological starting materials, fats and oils from plants and animals as oleochemical raw materials can be used as a new source of chemical feedstock. So why it is fats and oil from plants and animals are to be used? Because they are renewable. Okay, and their products can be recyclable. So that's why oleochemistry is become used. So that can be used as a feedstock in many cosmetic or polymer or lubricating oil industry. The next is photochemistry. New chemical processes with aid of light. Means here we are looking towards the renewable feedstock of energy. So many chemical reaction use metals as catalysts, and replacing these by light, that is UV or visible, appears to be a good alternative. So it has found to be good alternative. Many organic reactions are known to be catalyzed and take the required from sunlight. So using sunlight you can bring about the many chemical reactions. So can we replace the regular source, or you can say then by this photochemical or sunlight. Okay, so photochemistry is also considered as a green chemistry because the source of energy uh, is a renewable source, that is solar. Then next is photolytic synthesis using TiO2. Now just now we talked about the solar energy as a source of energy. So that photocatalytic synthesis means here titanium oxide is used as a photocatalyst in many chemical processes in industry. So this the results of using titanium oxide shows that this has reduced the waste products and minimized the energy consumption and gives much higher yields than the conventional routes. So the conventional routes or conventional sources has to be replaced by renewable sources. Okay, then next is photocatalytic oxidation. So decomposition of waste and toxic materials. These oxidations can be brought about by titanium oxide. Okay, and other metallic oxides like oxides of ferrous, particularly oxidation of polychlorinated compounds. Means when you want to oxidize the polychlorinated compound, then you can use metal oxides like ferrous along with titanium oxide. So these yields neutrals chemicals with maximum toxicity, minimum toxicity. Okay, so these are found to be very helpful, which follow the green chemistry principles. So one of the most studied example of photocatalytic oxidation is use of Fenton reagent. Fenton reagent is a combination of ferrous solution along with hydrogen peroxide, and it is used for photo assisted decomposition of toxic industrial waste. So that is, it is found to be very useful. So various such techniques are useful and are being applied for treatment of industrial effluents. So under green chemistry, we consider only those processes where there is no formation of any or generation of any waste product. But if at all it is going to form, then the effluent has to be treated. Okay, so advanced oxidation process has become standard technology for waste elimination and destruction of chemical substances in industry. So photocatalytic oxidation found to be very useful as far as environmental segments or rules are concerned. Then next is up to this fifth point, that is up to photocatalytic oxidation we discussed in last lecture. Now we'll move ahead to the next point, that is waste biomass as chemical feedstock. That is what we are saying. See, feedstock is necessary for reactants, feedstock necessary for organic solvents, and then if catalyst or any reagent is to be used, and as a for the replacement of conventional energy sources. Okay, so here one can think about waste biomass. So biomass was considered as a very important problem for sustainability. Okay, so research during last few decades has shown that it can be a very good source of clean renewable feedstock. Okay, so new technologies have been developed to use biomass as raw material for production of biomaterials, polymers, and other applications. So one of the important use of biomass is biofuel. Means, for example, if you go to farm area, okay, what to do with cow dung? Okay, so that cow dung or humus material generated in farming area, all that can be collectively used for generation of biogas, that is biofuel. So waste biomass is a very important chemical feedstock. Then next is degradation of biomass for biodiesel and biofuel and biogas. The same thing which I discussed in point number 6. Biomass has become popular due to its potential used for generation of biofuel from organic waste in landfills. So biomass can be converted into biofuel by both physical and chemical process. So on global scale, it is known to produce 20% of energy. So we are going to see in future the cars running on this biofuel or biogas. Okay, so that is also one of the way to replace the conventional feedstock. Then next is biocatalyst and biotransformation in chemical industry. So how one can use it? Biocatalyst enjoys the special place in green chemistry, green technology, with many applications which are environmentally benign and energy efficient. See here, in previous lecture somewhere we had discussed that the normal or regular industrial setup may go for multi-step synthesis. Okay, so under green chemistry we have to go for innovation and practices such that there will be reduction in steps. So that reduction in steps and selective conversion can be achieved by biocatalyst. So if we can use biocatalyst for chemical reaction, then it will be a renewable stock uh, for replacement of conventional catalyst. Okay, so enzymes are important biocatalyst for food and pharma industry, that everybody knows. So biocatalyst catalysis is in the interface of fermentation technique with other industrial process. So enzymatic catalysis reactions give high yield with lesser energy consumption. Okay, so biotransformations can be achieved using biocatalysts and are also considered as good green chemistry technique for various chemical industries. Okay, so one has to think about biotransformation and biocatalyst as a replacement for the conventional feedstock of the catalysts. Okay, then next is capture or sequestration of carbon dioxide. Now everyone knows carbon dioxide has crossed its limit of concentration in the atmospheric gases. So that has that is causing the environmental pollution. So how to reduce this concentration of CO2? So it has to be captured, or it has to be be compelled to undergo some chemical reaction. So climatic change and phenomena of greenhouse effect is caused due to carbon dioxide gases. Okay, so here how to overcome this problem? So efforts need to be taken to reduce the carbon dioxide emission. That is one way, means reduce the emission. Reaction which can capture CO2 and use it are in tune with principles of green chemistry. So are there any reactions where this CO2 can be used as a reactant, means it can be processed and it can be matched with the principles of the green chemistry? How is it possible? For example, most of the chemical industries producing organic chemical require petroleum feedstock or petroleum derived starting materials. Okay, so this carbon dioxide can be sent for sequestration. Okay, one of the way is to carbon dioxide sequestration to be dumped under land mass, where this carbon dioxide, when comes in contact with water, will be converted to acid, and that acid will react with the rocks, which will convert the rocks into useful soil. That is one way. Okay, so in this way one can capture and go for sequestration of carbon dioxide. Now up till now we have discussed 9 ways of uh, replacing the conventional feedstock by green chemistry feedstock. Okay, it can be reactant, it can be solvent, it can be catalyst, it can be energy sources. Okay, so we'll see some of the examples where this environmentally compatible synthesis or methods which follow all green chemistry principles are under use. So one of the very best example is synthesis of adipic acid and catechol. So adipic acid, all of you know, it is necessary for polymerization, nylon 6 or nylon 66. But how to get the adipic acid? So according to conventional route, adipic acid is prepared from benzene. First it has to be reduced, then it has to be oxidized, and after oxidation further chemical reaction with 60% nitric acid and copper and various vanadium chemicals, reagents, that will convert the benzene to the adipic acid. The route is conventional route is shown in the diagram. Okay, so this route is of the three step and releases oxides of nitrogen, which is greenhouse gas, leading to ozone depletion. That is the drawback of this conventional route. It is a multi-step synthesis. That is one way. So catechol, so this adipic acid, how it is to be prepared, and the conventional route was not useful because it is going to harm the environment. It doesn't follow the green chemistry principles. There is one more chemical, that is catechol, and its synthesis, conventional synthesis, is like this. Okay, where this catechol is prepared by Friedel-Crafts reaction of benzene using H3PO4, that is phosphoric acid. Catalyst, this is used as catalyst, and reaction gives phenol along with acetone as byproduct. So the next step requires H2O2, which is a highly corrosive reagent and needs special storage and handling precaution, making the procedure tedious. So this reaction converts phenol into catechol along with another byproduct called as hydroquinone. Okay, so generation of acetone hydroquinone is in this entire process causes great burden on environment. Okay, the SO2, sulfur dioxide, required in this reaction is also not an eco-friendly chemical, and the high temperature required in step 1 and 2 requires large energy input. So energy wise, production of toxic chemicals, multi-step synthesis, all these make this conventional route of synthesis of adipic acid and catechol ban for the as far as environmental segment is concerned. So how one can overcome this? So this green synthesis of adipic acid can be achieved from the biomass, or you can say something renewable feedstock, and that is from D-glucose. Okay, and the catalyst which is used here is E. coli, means the starting material in the conventional route is benzene, which is the feedstock is petroleum product, which is the which is going to be depleted very fast. Okay, now here it can be synthesized using renewable feedstock, that is D-glucose, and the catalyst is biocatalyst. So and the energy requirements are also very less, and the synthetic route is like this. So you can see here D-glucose, you can see here D-glucose is a renewable biomass feedstock chemical. Then catalyst is E. coli. You can see the temperature is also very less. So within one, though here you see various steps, they take place within one, or you can say without changing the batch. So in a batch at its own, this change, these steps are mentioned here only for the highlighting the changes. Otherwise this is a one step synthesis. Okay, so this can be directly converted to catechol. Okay, and further oxidation gives you cis muconic acid. So either you can stop the reaction at catechol step, or at the end it can go up to the formation of adipic acid. So both the chemicals can be prepared within one step using biocatalyst and biofeedstock. Okay, so that is the one application. The next example is polylactic acid. So what is this? Polylactic acid can be synthesized from renewable source. This is polylactic acid structure. So alpha hydroxypropionic acid is the monomer for this. So and it is obtained from corn or sugar beet for manufacture of polymer. So conventionally, the alpha hydroxy propionic acid was obtained from crude oil. So that is conventional feedstock. So what are the drawbacks of this conventional process? Feedstock is non-renewable, polymers are non-degradable, green chemistry gives solution to this problem. So these are the two problems. So green chemistry gives the solution. What is the solution? Polylactic acid has several benefits over petroleum based polymer. Okay, so what is that? It is obtained from renewable sources, that is biomass. So natural fermentation produces lactic acid and no organic solvents or hazardous substances are required. All of you know lactic acid can be obtained from milk products. Okay. So production of polylactic acid saves energy, money and natural resources. So it can be recycled easily by generation of monomer by hydrolytic cleavage. Okay. So the invention of polylactic acid and method for production of polylactic acid from biomass were awarded the PGCC award in 2002. Means this polymer which has good polymeric properties can be synthesized from biomass and which can replace the polymers which are prepared by using conventional crude oil feedstock, where you can have polythene or polystyrene. So all those can be replaced by polylactic acid. This is one example or fruitful outcome of the green chemistry. Then next is the furfural. Okay, all of you know furfural is necessary in polymer industry, especially furfural phenol plastic. Okay, and this is used in manufacture of pyromucic acid in petroleum refinery. Okay, so this you can replace the petroleum feedstock by green synthesis of furfural, and that can be achieved by using biomass. Okay, so successive dehydration of D-xylose gives furfural by this method. Okay, so what is this? This is the starting material is D-xylose, and successive dehydration gives you furfural. So that is one way, one of the very great application of green chemistry innovation. Then next is methyl methacrylate. Methyl methacrylate is another one more chemical used in large quantity in manufacture of polymer. So this is used as a monomer. So earlier method involved in the synthesis of this methyl methacrylate of the toxic material, that is HCN, hydrocyanic acid, which also showed an atom efficiency up to 47%. So what is that conventional route? The conventional route is this use of HCN. Okay, so and the methanol and sulfuric acid. So all these are going to be harmful for the environmental point of view, and at the same time yield is and economy is also not fruitful. It is only 47%. So what is the greener route? The greener route is this: you start with acetylene, treat with the methanol, use the organometallic catalyst, which can be renewable catalyst, means every time you can renew that, and you will get directly the methyl methacrylate, and there is 100% atom economy observed. So these are the examples which can replace the conventional feedstock. There is one more example, that is use of chitin as feedstock. So what is chitin? Chitin is a biopolymer. So this can be used as starting material for production of modified polymers. So what is the structure of this chitin? The chitin structure is like this, that is N-acetyl D-glucosamine. Okay, so chitin is naturally occurring biopolymer used by arthropods to make their exoskeleton. So it is polysaccharide made up of N-acetyl glucosamine units linked to each other. So chitin is more water soluble, it is non-toxic, it is biodegradable, antimicrobial, and non-allergy. So use of chitin has twofold benefit. Collection of shellfish will reduce the contamination of seawater, and processing of this waste will give us useful polymer. Means, look at this, the chitin can be collected from shellfish, okay, and that will reduce the contamination of seawater, and at the same time this can be used as a biopolymer, or it can be useful polymer source. Okay, so use of chitin as feedstock is one of the application of green chemistry. Then next is, in the green chemistry, one more component is very important, that is solvent. So green chemistry and reduction of solvent toxicity. How one can reduce the solvent toxicity? That is, first is oxidation under green chemistry condition. Means if many oxidations are carried out in water or supercritical CO2 or with less solvent. Hydrogen peroxide is good oxidizing agent which works at room temperature. So homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis is used in oxidation reaction. So oxygen and oxides of nitrogen are oxidative agents with green chemistry credentials and are used in oxidation of benzene, cyclopentanone, and propylene. Okay. So oxidation using metal complex as catalysts are also becoming popular. Okay, so if we go for oxidation under green chemistry condition, then it will reduce the consumption or use of solvent. So that will reduce the solvent toxicity. There is one more method, that is catalytic activity reduce the solvent. Use of solvent can be reduced by using alternative method or using catalyst which will give high yields and selectivity. This will also help to reduce waste generation. Okay, so these are the two ways by which you can reduce the solvent toxicity. Then we are going to discuss some can we think about the catalyst feedstock. One of the catalyst feedstock, regular catalysts can be replaced by coordination compound. The application of coordination compound is that you can renew that coordination compounds every time. So one of the application is asymmetric hydrogenation of carbon-carbon double bond, where you can use rhodium 1 catalyst bearing chiral diphosphine ligand. So it catalyzes the synthesis of 5L dopa, this drug which is used in Parkinson disease. So where this rhodium catalyst is used. There is one more catalyst, that is Wilkinson catalyst, that's tris-triphenyl phosphine rhodium chloride, which brings about the hydrogenation of olefins. So then next is hydroformylation of olefin can be achieved by cobalt complex. Okay, so this cobalt complex being gives you one step synthesis. Okay, renewable catalyst, less use of energy. Then Monsanto acetic acid synthesis. In this Monsanto synthesis, methanol is obtained by catalytic conversion of synthesis gas to methanol. Okay, and in this in the presence of rhodium complex, methanol is converted to acetic acid. So that is called as Monsanto acid, where coordination compound is used as a catalyst. Then synthesis of acetaldehyde is there, or you can say synthetic gasoline is there, where zeolites are used, or there can be photolytic photocatalysts are there, which are using titanium oxide. Then you can have use of microwave techniques which can replace the conventional energy sources, or use of ultrasonic chemicals. So all these come under the applications of this green chemistry synthesis. So after this Monsanto acetic acid, there are 2-3 applications are or examples are mentioned there. You can study at home at your own. I have given you the reading material for this purpose, and this completes our second chapter. Okay, now after this we'll in the next lecture we'll start the last chapter from the environmental chemistry, that is green chemistry and hazardous organic solvent. That is very small chapter that we'll discuss in next lecture. For time being, we'll stop here. Thank you. If you have any queries, doubts regarding any of the topic, you can ask me on the Google Classroom platform. Okay. Thank you.